Alright, we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna start a new game. Just wanted to show you guys some of the kind of like basic stuff as far as some tips. I know that there's not anybody watching at this point, but we're just gonna go ahead and crank through some stuff. And I think that you guys, if you haven't played a Dark Souls game, will find it really helpful. And if you have, but it's been a while and you haven't played Dark Souls 1, you might find some of this stuff really handy. So, what are we going to name this guy? I think we're going to just go with, we'll go with Stan, a suggestion from the wife. So the cool thing about Dark Souls is that you don't actually, like, the starting class only really kind of matters. It doesn't matter a whole lot. And for the sake of this, I'm going to start as the Thief. The Thief is really kind of cool to start as, because you automatically start with the Master Key. And the Master Key is, like, straight up the best starting gift, period. So you get that automatically. We're also going to start with the Black Firebomb. We're going to be super skinny. We're going to go Dragon Scholar Face, semi-long hair, and we're going to keep it black. I'm going to skip the opening cinematic, because skipping cinematics is my jam. Now, Dark Souls Remastered is pretty much the same as Dark Souls 1. I mean, it looks a lot better. The lighting is a lot different, which is pretty cool. Tip number one, you don't actually have to fight these guys, you can run right by them, which is good, because this little, like, dinky, awful thing that you get to hit people with at first kinda sucks. A lot. Oh, maybe they changed that too, because I'm doing like 13 damage. That's actually a lot for the broken sword handle. That's something else too. Just saw that sweet roll. Roll speed is actually really important. That right there is a fast roll animation. As you have more equipment stacked on, depending on what your stats look like, right? So what your endurance stat specifically looks like will kind of dictate how fast you roll and how much you can wear. So, like I said, the reason why I went with the Thief is because he starts with the Master Key. And you saw I got to pick a starting gift anyway, and I picked the Black Fire Bombs. I'm going to show you why specifically I went with the Black Fire Bombs right now. So you go into this big empty room, and you're like, ah, yeah, sweet, big empty room with a door at the end. Let's go that way. And then this douchebag shows up to destroy you utterly. Now, what you're supposed to do is run away, because you get your weapons in the tutorial level a little bit later. You don't want to try and fight him with the little big sword, but you do want to throw Black Fire Bombs at him, because they do a whole lot of damage. And his attacks are pretty easy to read. He swings really wide. Oops. And look at that, he's dead. So if you look, I just got his hammer, right? And that's pretty cool. But, because we are Puny Baby Man, if we try to throw it on there, we can't do anything with this. Like, we can't swing that. It's not gonna work. Even if we two-hand and try to swing, it's too much. So we're not gonna worry about that right now. We're gonna save that specifically for later. I think the strength requirement on that bad boy is like some craziness like 50. So if you're looking at a weapon, you press square. Bottom right, where the bicep is flexing, yeah, 46 strength required to swing that one-handed, no problem. As far as how to swing that while two-handing, your two-handed strength is 1.5 times whatever. It is 1.5 times, right? So if, let's say we have a strength of 22, and we multiply that by 1.5, that's 33, so that's still not even enough. So let's talk 35. That'd be a little bit too much. So if we get ourselves up to a strength of... Oh wow. Hi Marsh. Thanks for showing up even though it's so late in the morning, or so early in the morning for you. That's awesome. I appreciate it. But yeah, if we wanted to swing this bad boy two-handed, we'd have to have a strength of at least 30, 31, 32. 32 times 1.5 would be a strength of 48, and that would definitely allow us to do it. So we're going to go ahead and light that bonfire. Lighting bonfires is important. We'll talk about kindling bonfires a little bit later. So that is also important. We'll see that we just got our shield, so we'll go ahead and pop that bad boy on. The target shield is great for parrying, not so great for blocking. That attack does like next to no damage, which is why I didn't take any damage when I blocked it. But if someone comes in with something a little bit more heavy duty that we try to block, we're going to take some damage and not be happy about it. So the bandit's knife is actually a pretty cool weapon. It doesn't do a tremendous amount of damage on its own, right? We'll see if we cut this guy, like he takes, you know, damage in like 34s. But if you're attacking an enemy that has like a large health pool, and you just go at him with this knife, eventually what'll happen is he'll get the bleed status. And when he takes bleed damage, he just takes a whole lot of damage at once. We'll see if we can get that animation to pop up when we do the Taurus Demon. And when they take bleed damage, it's like a straight up like percentage of their max health, and it's great. The knife also has a pretty great critical modifier. If you look up, one of the things about Dark Souls 2, right? You always look before you go somewhere. So if we look up, you can see if there's something up there, right? Like there's a boulder right there, and if I go up the stairs, it gets pushed at me. And I get hit by it even though I was trying to move out of the way. So here's Oscar. Now, if you're going for like straight speed, technically you can just kill this guy, skip all of his dialogue, pick up his stuff, and then walk out. But
oh, you. Thank goodness.
You can just kind of click through his stuff.
I wish to ask some. You and I, we're both.
Say yes and hear him out.
There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead.
Wave at him randomly. I don't know what just happened or why that happened. He gives you your healing item, and he gives you the keys to get out of here. Now, you'll see he gave me the big Pilgrim's key. Normally, if you kill the Asylum Demon, the normal way, you get that after you beat him. I'm going to go ahead and pop a flask right now because it's pretty low. And he just died. Which is funny because when we come back here later, he'll be here. I'm definitely not a pro. I've just played this game a lot. This guy's gonna come at us, he's gonna swing a whole lot, and we're gonna stab him in the butt. He's gonna take a whole lot of damage. Backstabbing, early on, is probably like the best way to go about dispatching of enemies. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys how to parry real quick. I'm not great at it, especially because the animations are so different and these hollows take so long to actually attack. Yeah, see, I'm not gonna add it. We'll go ahead and take care of that guy real quick. Now, if you were playing one of the magic classes, right, like if you were playing a pyromancer or a sorcerer or a cleric, right up here would be where your pyromancy glove or your first pyromancy or your stick for casting magic the name I can't remember, your catalyst or your talisman would be, and then you'd be able to start casting magic right away. But we're not doing that, not yet anyway. That's another cool thing. Like, if you want, you can just kind of invest in whatever stats you want, and turn out to be playing whatever it is that you want to play. I like using miracles, which are the cleric or faith type of spells. That's just me though. Now, this guy is probably going to mess me up because I'm not great at parrying him. But he gives a lot of souls, and I am kind of high risk, high reward. Like, I know I can take this guy. I can get not messed up by him. But you see all that blood come off? That's what it looks like when you bleed damage an enemy. Oh. No, you don't get to get out of here. Yeah, look at that 80 souls. Woo! So this is where the boss fog would be if I didn't already kill the boss. We'd go ahead and drop down here, take a little bit of fall damage. We'll go over plunging attacks in a couple minutes because we're going to be at the Taurus Demon relatively quickly. But we open the door. This is going to bring us to another tip real quick. So we run out here, everything is great. And if you look over to the side here, right, there's a little nest. Little nesting nest right here. And
give me
awful noises. You can drop items in this nest, and then you quit out and start your game again, and it'll change. So there's certain things that you can pretty much only get by dropping them here. Different kinds of Titanite, which you need to upgrade your weapons in different ways. So that'll be important for later. We're gonna go ahead and run up here. We're gonna find the Big Crow's mama, or the Big Crow. I'll let this one actually play out because I think it's hilarious.
In the ancient legends, it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen.
We just get scooped up by a big old bird and flown out of the place.
To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
It scared me the first time it happened to me too. I was like, okay, so I got to a cliff and oh, okay, there's a giant bird and it's carrying me away. And they literally just take us over here and drop us in the middle of nowhere. So, if you look at the bonfire, the flame here is actually a little bit taller than the other ones that were there before. That's because it's automatically the kindled ones, which is why our Estus classes go up to 10. We're going to level up in a second. So I'm just going to kind of show you around Firelink Shrine real quick. This guy is referred to the Crestfallen Warrior. He's kind of boring, and he kind of gives you a hint about where you can go. He says you can go either above or below. I'm not going to go through his dialogue because I find his voice really annoying. But one of the tips is that you can attack this guy. Just hit him. Like, he takes damage. If you hit him too much, he'll start fighting you. He's actually kind of hard to kill early on, especially if you don't have a hard-hitting weapon. And like you said, the Bandit Knife is great because it does stuff like the bleed damage, but it doesn't hit really hard. Now, this lady down here that can't talk, she can reinforce your Estus Flask. So if you have things... Oh, nice. What version of the game was it? Was it just the first Dark Souls, or Dark Souls 2 or 3? But you can reinforce... doing that, you give her Firekeeper Souls, and it will... I think the maximum level for the Estus Flask is 7. That'll just make it heal more. And then we'll go down there in a little bit. Now this is where the important stuff is, right? Or rather, this is where like a lot of the beginner tips that I'm going to talk about are. So if you go up here, number one, this place will not always be filled with water, but if you drop an item that is a quest item, and we'll talk about what just happened there in a second. But if you drop an item, that's awesome, Roblox. Thanks for tuning in, man. But if you drop a quest item, like there's going to be rings that you need to wear later on, there's like an orange charred ring and the Covenant of Artorias that allows you to step on the Abyss, basically. But if you drop those for whatever reason and lose them, they'll be in this chest. You'll see that there's currently nothing in there, which is cool. But there will be someone that pops out of the ground here a little bit later on in the story, but we won't worry about that right now. Okay. So this guy right here, this is Petrus. He's a jerk for reasons that we're not going to go into, but he's just like any other NPC. You can attack him right now if you want. He'll probably school you though, because he's wearing really heavy armor. He's got a Morning Star, which not only, hurts to be hit with, but it also does bleed damage, kind of like the Bandit Knife. We're not going to talk to him, because, like I said, he's a jerk. Now, if you can't jump through windows, that's right. If you come over here and run all the way down, we're going to find some items right here. These are fire bombs, which are great, especially if you're not able to do a whole lot of damage right off the bat, or don't know how to do a whole lot of damage right off the bat. You can use fire bombs to kind of take care of that. And, just real quick, you know how we saw that orange, light go off and then go into us, and now we have our Estus West at 11. What that was is somebody kindled the bonfire that we just rested at. So if someone kindles that bonfire, what happens is we get an extra charge of Estus, which is our healing item, which is pretty cool. So if you leave your bonfire, like your most recent bonfire, at one that gets used a lot, you could end up having a whole bunch of extra Estus. Now this is where the insane stuff is. So normally there'd be elevators here, right? And if we look here, we go, oh, well, there's no elevator, so I'm just going to turn around and walk away. Incorrect. We go in here, and go into this, little, secret area over here. Look, there are chests and stuff. So we can go ahead and take the stuff that's in here. Alright, so we get a cracked red eye orb, so if we want to do some invasions, we can. We get a Morning Star and a Talisman, right? So we talked about the Morning Star, kind of. Right? So there that is right there. It requires Strength 11, which I do not have yet. So if I wanted two-handed, I could. And it's not accurately representing how much damage I would be doing with it, because I don't meet the strength requirements. So you take a huge penalty to damage if you can't actually wield a weapon. And it also gave me a Talisman, right? So if I had Miracles to cast, I could pop that in and start casting Miracles. But I don't have any, so I can't. We got a Homeward Bone. We're actually going to go ahead and put our Homeward Bones in our equipment slot right here. So when you've got something in your equipment slot, that's the down on the D-pad. We're going to need that real quick, because I'm going to do something really bloody stupid after I collect these last items. Now, what's down here is obviously a graveyard. You can see by all the headstones. But this also leads to the Catacombs, which is a later game area. And if I were to try to go down here right now, I would get absolutely wrecked. Because the enemies down here, the skeletons, which you can see the pieces of from here, but you can also see what we're going to go down there and get, which is a bunch of items. Which is why we have the Homeward Bone set up. We'll see that in a second. But all of these skeletons, they're going to respawn if I kill them. And if I try to kill them with this dinky little knife, it's going to take forever. So we're gonna run down there. We're gonna grab a whole bunch of stuff, including the famed base cannon of Dark Souls, and then we're gonna get the heck out of there. So I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna run right past all these guys. I'm gonna grab the winged spear because it's a good weapon, and I'm thinking about using it a little bit later. Grab the base cannon. Grab the binoculars. Use the homeward bone. And now we're safe. Alright, you're going into high school next year, you're gonna be fine. High school is tough, but that just kind of depends on how you go about it. You know, go in, don't sweat the small stuff, man. Keep your head down, learn what you need to learn, make friends, and it'll all work out. But we're talking about. Oh, I'm gonna take these homeward bones off. I don't want to deal with accidentally using one of those. So we're gonna go down here, right? We talked about this lady right here, the firekeeper. She's the reason why the fire is at 10, by the way. Because she is there, it is automatically kindled one step. Until we get the rite of kindling, we can't kindle it anymore. So we're gonna go down this elevator. Also, really important, just kind of like a quality of life tip. Elevators don't reset. So if we accidentally send this back up and then we come back here, we're just gonna fall down the hole. There's no soul item right here. We're gonna grab that because we're gonna use a whole bunch of souls to level up a little bit beyond what we should be at real quick. Now, we could go that way, right? Down where all those like spooky lights are and stuff. We're not going that way. That way is awful in a handbasket. I'll show you at least a little bit of what that looks like though. Alright, so we come down here. Break that. Take the transient curse. I remember the first time I played this area like lagged, like whoa. And the lighting is a lot better. But we'll see in just a second. You see that ghost right there? If I don't have that curse item used, I can't do damage to it, and it can do damage to me. So I'm gonna leave because I don't want to deal with ghosts. They spooky. You want to come down here much later. When you have upgraded weapons and stuff like that, because those ghosts, not only do they show up in groups. Oh, I forgot that the S-Dock was here. The S-Dock is a great weapon, and I'm going to use that instead, if I can. I gotta bump my strength up one. We'll do that in a minute. Oh, I forgot. We got this guy just chilling. I'm gonna let him just keep chilling. This guy is named Rickert. He is one of the blacksmiths in the game. He does like magic weapons and stuff. Aw, thanks, man. I mean, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I mean, I started this channel like 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm at almost 100 subs. I think it's insane. So, if you want to tell your friends about my channel, and if you want to encourage them to check it out, I'll appreciate it. I'm gonna do some more streams like this. You know, some more tips for different games, probably. And yeah, this is kind of what I'm planning on doing. So let's see here. Where's my channel at? I'm at 86 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. Hey, Kenny, what's going on, man? Just going through some Dark Souls basics real quick. So, Rickert's a pretty cool guy. If you are not a sorcerer, this is where you can get your first catalyst. Your friends don't learn English. That's fine. But this is where you can get your first sorceries if you are not a sorcerer already. I'm not going to get this stuff because I know where I can get at least some of it for free, and I'm probably not going to use sorcery on this character. So this is specifically where the master key comes in handy for the first time, right? Like, I haven't even actually really gotten to the game yet, and I've already put the master key to use. So this brings you to the Valley of the Drakes. Again, not somewhere that you really want to stay in too long. First time into the game, you really only want to be in here if you have lightning weapons or miracles. Otherwise, you're going to die really, really bad. I'm going to show you... I'm not going to show you how you'll die really bad. I'll do that after I level up. But this guy right here, right? This giant undead dragon is specifically what will kill you. And he's nice and peaceful and sleeping. If you see those items, if I were to go for those, he wakes up and he immediately claws at you. And where the gathering animation takes so long, I wouldn't have time to dodge. So I'm just going to go here, I'm going to take this soul, and I'm going to leave. Watch, I'll come back here after and try to show you guys why I would actually die, and I'll be able to dodge out of the way. It'll be insane, and I'll be so mad. I won't actually be mad. I'd be pretty impressed with myself, actually. You also just want to make sure that you don't walk off any ledges or anything. It is really, really easy to walk off of ledges, and we don't want to do that. That's just silly dying. And one of the other things about Dark Souls Remastered specifically is that they actually smoothed out some of the animations. So it is unfortunately a little bit easier to go off of a ledge than previously, like to do strong attack off a ledge. You know, where animations in previous games may have been a little bit choppier, and make it a little bit harder for you to actually run off. That's not necessarily the case here, because the animations are so much smoother. Run all the way back up here. Right? The cool thing about Dark Souls, the first one, the one that we're playing right now, is that there are so many different ways to get back here from different places in the game. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go into our items, and we're going to use all these souls. Oh, thanks, man. Docking Battle's a lot of fun, but, I mean, people, at least my observation is that people really like the summon videos, you know what I mean? Because that's where a lot of the excitement, like the unknown stuff is, right? So, Docking Battle will be cool to do occasionally, but I really want kind of like, that's why I didn't stick to just something related to Docking Battle, you know what I mean? I wanted to be able to do a whole bunch of different games. So now we've got a whole lot of souls to use, right? So we're going to go ahead and level up. We're going to put Vitality, Endurance, and Strength to 10. Nah, your IQ isn't less than a zombie. Especially if is English your first language, or is it not your first language? We're gonna bump strength up to 14. And I'm gonna explain why in a little bit, but that doesn't really matter yet. We confirm that. Actually, then no, I'm not gonna unfollow. So if we start to go up, right? This is the right way to go first, right? So we go up this way, and this gets us to the actual game first, right? We got this guy right here who wants to mess with us. Oh, actually, no, that's what I wanted to do. You're hurt. Yeah, oh, jeez, he followed me all the way down here. I don't like Dragon Ball Legends as much as I like Dokkan Battle. I'm just gonna leave that out there, and maybe it's because, you know, Dokkan Battle I've invested some time in. I've never actually played, I've never played Fortnite. I've played PUBG, and done okay at it. I think like the highest I ever placed by myself was like 4th, but I've never tried Fortnite. Actually, I might give that a shot. I know a lot of people like watching people play Fortnite, but I'm not gonna jump in on that just yet. So let's see if I can get those other items from that dragon without dying. Oh, that's right. We're gonna switch to the S-Dock too. S-Dock. The cool thing about the S-Dock is if you have your shield up, you can still poke people with it. Maybe one of the things I do when I play Fortnite is I'll try to play specifically with subscribers. I think that could be fun. Alright, Dragon. I'm gonna go one of two ways. I'm either gonna take that stuff and you're not gonna kill me, or I'm gonna take that stuff and you're gonna kill me. And then I'm gonna not come back here for a while. But when I do, I'll kill you back. Okay, so those two items right there, right? One of them is a shield, and the other one is the Astora Straight Sword. The Astora Straight Sword is actually a really good weapon. Congratulations on getting LR Majin Vegeta. LR Majin Vegeta is an amazing card. I'm so excited that I got him, and that I'm going to be able to. I mean, it's going to make my World Tournament team so good. Okay, here we go. Right in, grab. Oh, hey, look at that. Hey. That's wicked funny. I called that. I knew that if I went in there and I grabbed the weapon, I'd be able to leave and not. Oh man, that's funny. I bet though, if I had tried to do that the first time, he would have killed me and I would have lost my like 2,000 souls that I had at that point. That's wicked funny. All right. Once we get back up, yeah, that dragon. There's another one of him in another area of the game that you actually do like have to fight head on. He's not actually a boss character. He has a whole lot of health, but he's not actually a boss character. He flings like poison breath at you, and his claw attacks do a whole lot of damage. Like if I had gotten hit by that claw attack, I would have been dead. Just right up. It would have been awful. I would have been so upset. Actually, not so much upset, because I only have 870 souls, and in the grand scheme of things, that's not a whole lot to lose. But let's check out our ill-gotten gains real quick. So we got the Astora Straight Sword, which I can't use because I don't meet the faith requirement. You see a little white circle at the bottom of the left, like, split. That's actually the magic damage portion of the weapon. It does kind of like divine damage, right? So where those skeletons were, if I was to use this sword and kill the skeletons would stay dead. But I'm not going back there. At least not yet. And then we got the Dragon Crest shield, which I can use at this point. It's a 100% physical shield, which is awesome. But it's gonna weigh me down. I'm still medium rolling, so yeah, I'll use that. Why not? It's 100% physical block shield, which is great. It blocks 85% fire damage, which a lot of the guys up here throw around. He said, "Go make your dreams come true. I have no dreams. I win." You gotta have something. There's gotta be something that you want. At least that's how I look at it, right? Because if there's nothing you want, then you know, like what are you doing? Stop blocking. Thank you. So that guy up there, right? Not that guy. That guy. He's gonna go ahead and throw fire at me, but he can't. I'm gonna grab that item after I am not at risk of being exploded. Alright. Now we can go ahead. My only dream is to not be rice gum. Okay. Don't be rice gum then. So we got another soul item we can use later, which is good. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this soul item over here. And we're gonna dip in here, and we're gonna stab the rat a bunch of times. Most of the rats in this game do some sort. I mean, they look gross, and I think they look gross specifically because they always do some sort of status, and you don't want to deal with that. Most of the time, they'll poison you or something like that. That's no fun. We got these guys. Ooh, we got a battle axe right off the bat. That's pretty cool. Hey, life can be as easy or as hard as you make it, right? It all comes down to decisions. Now, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was that little green flash right there when I poked him after he bounced off my shield. That indicated that I did counter damage. And when you do counter damage, mostly with dexterity-based weapons or spears or stuff like that, you'll do extra damage. Which I think is pretty cool. I like doing extra damage. And dragon, we are not going to mess with yet. Okay, agreeing to disagree is what helps people to grow. And I'm all sorts of down with that. Not over there yet. We're gonna run up here and we're gonna deal with this guy. I don't like being shot at. So, yeah. Then we're gonna light this bonfire. We're not gonna rest at it because resting at bonfires resets them, and I don't want to deal with that right now. Oh no. Hopefully I'm not actually being grave lorded. That would suck. Yeah, these guys like to turtle, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually switch back. Actually, I'm gonna switch to the Morning Star because I can do that now. Thanks to him. We're gonna go down here. There's gonna be a guy that's gonna jump out at me from behind here. Yeah, I don't know if I'm actually being grave lorded right now. Being grave lorded basically means that there are going to be these super strong enemies in your world, and they are just going to wreck you every day until the grave lord is actually taken out. Marsh, you're funny. I mean, PewDiePie's been in the game for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if he hit 63 million subs someday. I mean, I think Markiplier has like 16 or 18 or something crazy like that, so.
Well, now.
Alright, this guy is nuts, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna buy some items from him real quick. We're gonna buy, not the Residence Key because we have the Master Key, so we don't actually need it. We're gonna buy the short bow. Whoop, I'm not gonna buy bolts. We're gonna buy some standard arrows. We're gonna buy like 50.
Thank you, Kai.
And then we're gonna kill this guy.
Gone mad, have you? I'll teach you, you lousy rat. Yulia! Yulia!
So he doesn't really have anything of use, oh boy, later in the game. Which is why I'm killing him right now. He also drops the katana that he's using. Just like that. Right, so there's a bunch of stuff that I just got, and then I got the katana. I think I can use that right now if I wanted to. Yeah, I meet the stat requirements to use the katana, and this is actually a great weapon. It does great damage. It also has a bleed effect, just like a whole lot of weapons you get right off the bat. So we're gonna go ahead, go back up this way. I'm gonna switch back to the not the battle axe, the Morning Star. I liked using that. That was kind of cool. So we're gonna shield up and run straight across here because I don't feel like getting exploded, like we've already kind of talked about a little bit. We're gonna hang out right at the door though. If I go further in, this guy right over here is gonna start coming at me. If you watch the door, another guy's gonna kick it in. And fighting 3 enemies at once is how you get wrecked in this game. PewDiePie comes in from the left. Number one, I'd be just laughing at PewDiePie coming into my stream. But I hope you get some sleep in general, man. I remember, not to sound like super old, But I remember being your age and staying up all night. And, uh, but I remember, like, not sleeping and playing video games all night. That was before YouTube was actually a thing. That's kind of crazy. I get some more black fire bombs, which is cool because now we're back up to 10. We're probably not going to use those on really anything anytime soon, unless, I mean, if we decide to rush an early boss, then we might. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't want to deal with it. I am going to go ahead and run right up here into the middle of all these guys and re-aim. Get myself into some trouble here. Ooh, man, I've been getting lucky with the weapon drops here. Gonna hop in here, go down, get some gold pine resin, which will be useful later. We're gonna go ahead and use our first heal right there. Yeah, I really hope I'm not being grave lorded. I really don't want to deal with that, especially if one of them is where the Black Knight is. Because I'm hoping for a lucky drop off of him. So we're gonna come up here, and we're gonna deal with these guys with the extreme pressure. Bro, you're not cringy. I mean, you're one of the only people that's watching. So, and I don't think you're cringy. So, it's all good. Don't worry about it, man. Just be you. That's probably the most important thing, if anything, that you should take away from anything, is to just be yourself. And if people don't like who you are by just being yourself, then they're not worth your time. And people that do like you for who you are, genuinely, those are the people that you want to keep around. We're gonna try and get these guys to come up one at a time. Again, we don't want to... Dealing with multiple enemies at once is how we get dead. Come on, man. Don't heal. Alright, so now that we have a weapon that's not the S-Stock out, we can do some cool stuff once he puts his shield back up. Alright, so he's got shield up, we kick, and then we can hit him. That's right, dab on haters all day, every day. That's how you handle it. Alright, so we're going to start to go up, and then we're going to run back down immediately, because he's going to set that on fire and throw it at me, and I don't want to deal with that. And bam. Alright, so now we're going to try our luck with Black Knight down here. Now the trick to dealing with this guy is A, stabbing him in the back when you first get there, but to parry him as well. Now, I'm not the best at parrying, so we're going to see how this goes real quick. So we're gonna just so quietly, we're just going to sneak up. Nice and easy. And hit his butt. He's gonna get up. He's gonna be really mad at me. Alright, Marsh, I'll see ya. Oops, didn't successfully parry that. Oh, there we go. Bam. Get some sleep, Marsh. I hope you feel better in the morning. Well, just check it out after. Check it out in the morning or after school. I don't know what day it is for you. But check it out after you get some sleep and then wake up. It's going to be on YouTube. let's see if he drops his sword. Ah, yes! Oh, that makes me happy. Okay, yeah. So we need a lot more stats before we can actually swing that bad boy around. But the Black Knight sword is awesome, and that's going to come in really handy with another boss in a little bit. And now we're also going to get our first ring, which is kind of garbage. That's okay. We're going to use the blue Tearstone ring, and basically what happens is when you are below 20% health, you get a defense boost, which is cool and everything, but not super useful. But it'll be fine. It'll be handy at some point. And here's another reason why the Master Key is great to start with. We could go down here and fight an NPC, and oh, that's weird. But we could go down here, fight an NPC, and get a really cool ring. But I'm not about that. I'm not going to deal with that right now. That's just a lot more time than I want to deal with at the moment. So we're going to go up in here. There should be a crystal lizard. There he is. Beat the Jesus out of him. And we get Twinkling Titanite, which is going to be really handy because that's what the Black Knight sword that we are going to start using as soon as we can actually swing it around is going to use. So, another tip, real quick. Anytime you see a fog gate, you are either going into a new area of the game that you have not yet been into, or there's a boss on the other side. And the boss isn't always going to present itself right away, just like what we're dealing with here. Right? So we're here, no boss. But the fog gate's still there on the other side, which lets us know that this is a boss area. We're gonna go up, we're gonna see these douchebags with their crossbows and their swords. And we're gonna go ahead and kill them. Because I don't want people shooting at me while I'm trying to kill the boss. Okay. Gonna go ahead and put some lightning on our weapon real quick. And then, come on. There's the boss. Now we're gonna run the hell away. We're gonna go up here so that we can set up for a plunging attack. So the plunging attack, two-hand, do the jumping attack, and then swing down at the same time to maximize the damage that we do. And the cool thing about having a 100% physical block shield is that it blocks 100% physical damage, which is all this guy does. So we just gotta hug the crotch and hope we don't die. Like that. Cool. Victory! Get some humanity and human bone, and we're gonna get a whole bunch of souls in a second. Boom, 3,000 souls. Gonna take a sip of our juicy juice. Start heading down. Marsh, you're funny. And I appreciate you using all of your weeb to hang out. One Punch Man is also one of my favorites, and I'm really excited that they're making season 2. We can't go down here just yet. Also, that dragon that we saw before is going to make a guest appearance in a second. But before we deal with that, we're going to go talk to Brolaire.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow. Far from. I am Solaire of Astoria.
Solaire is
now that I am
the man.
You find us no need to hide your
He also gives you the co-op item, as long as you say yes.
I see it, in a land. So what?
You say yes again. He gives you the White Sign Soapstone.
There's no but you to signing, of course. But if you miss,
And you can use that. Don't need that anymore. So when you leave your white sign, people can summon you into their world to help them, which is awesome. A lot of fun. So what we're going to do, we're going to start this way. We're going to run back. There's the dragon just killing everyone because they can. We're going to shield up and we're going to run, and hope that he doesn't decide to nuke the bridge. And we're going to go down here. Now we can go ahead and creep through the underside of the bridge, but we're going to try and do something else in a minute. First thing we're going to do, though, is activate a shortcut. That's the bonfire that we were resting at before. So when we die, which is a probability, we can go back down there. Now, we're going to go ahead... Actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. Put our S-Dock back on real quick. And our Dragon Shield. And we're going to take care of this guy. And then we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna grab that bow that we started, or that we grabbed before, and set up those arrows. And if you see that tail right there, we're gonna shoot it a bunch of times. Yeah, I'm streaming from my PS4, Kenny, and I gotta say that I think that because I was trying to stream from my laptop, that was why everything was all jacked up. So I'm probably not gonna try that again. I am probably going to stream from my desktop at some point because that is a rig that is meant for streaming and gaming. So that should be just fine. But what we're doing here is most, if not all, of the dragon enemies in this game drop some sort of weapon when you cut their tail off. And while we are not up there and cutting the tail, we're certainly doing damage to the tail specifically for this enemy. Marsh, your memes are over 9,000. That's why we like you. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to shoot this tail for probably way too long. And then it's going to come off and I'm going to get a weapon and I'm going to use that for a little bit because it is a strong weapon right off the bat. Dealing with bosses and stuff. At least until I'm using the weapons that I want to use. Sorry if this part is super boring. It's just he has to like get up and stomp around and stuff every time you shoot his tail. He's like the grumpiest dragon. He technically does not count as like a dragon though. He's only got the two back legs and the wings, so he's technically like a wyvern or a drake or whatever, but I'm going to refer to him as the bridge dragon because that's exactly what he is. Come on, give me that tail. Basically what you want to do when you actually are trying to shoot the tail off is just get to your one sweet spot and just hang out there, because he's always going to go back to the same position. Dark Souls 3 video got 2 million views. Dark Souls 3 is a great game. And I mean, it's been a while. It's been around for a while, which is probably why people jump in on it more often. And there's actually like some people are really salty about Dark Souls Remastered because they think that a lot more stuff should have been done to it. And I mean, I can agree with that. I think that there could have been a lot more done to Dark Souls Remastered to make it a lot better of a game. But I mean, the first Dark Souls... Ah, there it is. Right there. Boom. Great sword. The first Dark Souls game is, you know, part of what got me into Dark Souls as a whole. So I'm cool with it the way that it is. What do you require? You require 16. Okay. We can do that in a minute. And then we're going to go ahead, throw on our shield. Boom. Now we've basically got the spikes coming out of his tail. For a weapon, and we're still medium rolling, which is good. So we're gonna spend some souls real quick, which involves resting at the bonfire. And we're gonna do a couple things that I'll talk to you guys about real quick first too. So you see the little one that we got right over there? That's your soft humanity. Soft humanity helps with item discovery. And it can also be used to kindle bonfires, right? Unfortunately, to kindle a bonfire, you have to be human. Well, thanks, Marsh. I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully, I do get more. Right, and then I can talk to people about tips all the time. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to use 1 humanity to get us up to 2. You'll notice that my health actually went back up. Humanity is a healing item, technically. So if you use one, you get a whole lot of health back. I think one of the changes that was actually made to the game... I mean, we'll talk about what you just said in a second, Marsh. But the humanity that you use, you have to reverse your hollowing first. Bam. Now we don't look like beef jerky anymore, which is cool. And then we go ahead and kindle. And now we're up to 10. We're gonna go ahead and level up. Strength need to be at 16, so we're gonna actually we're gonna go up to 17. We're gonna go up to 16 there. Boom. I'm gonna see if I can use. What do I have for souls? I'm gonna use all 4 of these. See if we can squeeze out another level. Mage is still OP. You could, starting with magic, definitely sets you a little bit apart. Because the thing about Dark Souls is that you can still, even if you play a mage, you can still use your regular melee weapons, right? So, yeah, there we go. Awesome. We got strength up to 18. Excuse me. So, if we had spells, we could be slinging spells around all day. And then when enemies got too close to us, we could still use our sword and stuff. We could still use parries. And all that. It's not like we're just restricted to magic. Just like with this character, we're not just restricted to weapons. And the thief starts off with really high dexterity, which is good. Oh wait, what? Hold on. Oh, okay. Dexterity needs to be 18. Derp. That's okay. There you go. Yeah, and that's exactly what you should try to do anyway. Because if you just restrict yourself to magic, right? Then as soon as you're out of casts, then you're done, right? Because you get only a specific number of casts of a spell. So let's see where we're at here. Yeah, dragon's back up. I really want to get past him. Oh, hey. How are you? Oop. I'm actually surprised that I survived that. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get our bow back out. And we're gonna shoot him in the head, and he's gonna be really nuts. I lied. Aha! Foolish dragon. Maybe not so foolish. That is probably the easiest time I've ever had getting to this bonfire. I am very content. So we can go ahead and actually just put our Drake sword back on. This is going to be an important area later in the game. Once we can join the Covenant of Sunlight and become a Sunbro. Yeah, see how much more damage the Drake Sword does? Insane. Really good for early game, not so great late game because it doesn't have any scaling. Actually, let's talk about that real quick, right? So if we look here at the Drake Sword, right? If you look on the left-hand side in that left window where the damage is, you see like the flex, the hand, the candle, and the star. There's no letters after that, right? Which means that it has no scaling. It just increases flat as you use weapons. But if we go and we look at wait, we'll look at that later. If we go and we look at the bandit knife, right? It's got E scaling and strength, which is not great, but it's got B scaling and dexterity, which means that the higher your dexterity is, the more damage that the weapon itself is going to do from your stat. But that's not something that Drake Sword has. The Drake Sword has really high base damage, which is what we're going to kind of rely on as we move through the early parts of the game. So we got a big pig over there that we're not going to deal with. We're going to just go ahead and just run right past everything. Oh, nice. I know a couple of guys that have pulled that Broly in Legends. Go right up here. And this part's gonna be tricky because there's guys shooting at us while we got this guy here with his spear and blocking. Alluring skulls are really cool items, but we're not going to really use that a whole lot. Actually, we're going to see if we can try something a little bit funny in a second. But there's a guy that's coming right up here. Doink. Alright, let's see. Let's see if I can do something really kind of funny. So when you use... Actually, hold on. When you use Alluring Skulls, they kind of like force enemies to go do stuff. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna pop our binoculars on. There. See that? Makes him really upset, and it's causing him to set himself on fire. Oh wow, that did not last nearly as long as it used to. Okay then. Eh. Alright. That went a lot better than I thought it would. Now, you should always be cautious of enemies running away from you in Dark Souls. And like I said, look everywhere, right? So if we look... Oh wow, wait a minute. Why aren't there... Doing your homework on time is important. I work at a college, and a lot of what I do during the day is talk to people who have not done their homework and tell them that they should have done their homework and that they need to submit it, even if they haven't done it yet. So, do your homework on time. Timing is very important. We're probably going to do the next boss, and then I'm probably going to wrap the stream there because it's already been an hour. And while I don't have to go work out super early tomorrow, I do have to go to karate class tomorrow and do some other stuff. I have a wedding to go to tomorrow too. My cousin's getting married. So I need to make sure that I'm at least kind of rested. And I actually have to do my own homework tomorrow, because I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to do it on Sunday. So like I said before, when you come to a fog gate, you're either going into a new area or you're going into a boss area. So if we go through here, you'll notice that the fog dissipates. That means that we're just going into a new area, and we're pretty safe. That's where we just were, right there. We're going to go up there in a second, but what we're going to do first is we're going to surprise this guy. We'll see if we can one-shot him with a backstab. Yeah. One Punch Man would probably approve and be disappointed at the same time, because I'm killing him in one shot, but I'm doing so with the sneaky parts. Alright, so we're gonna run up here. We're gonna take care of this guy in the corner, guarding his barrels. You bring up a good point, though. Deku thinks up genius plans all the time, but I think that's because he's studied a lot in advance, right? So if you think about, like, even the first episode or two right there, when he goes to try and save his friend, right? All the notes that he wrote down said that, you know, get the enemy to flinch, get the enemy to fade back, and then make your move, which is why he throws his backpack at him. He was just acting on knowledge that he had, so he was able to think quickly, but if he didn't know that stuff ahead of time, he probably would have been in trouble. So we're not going to worry about this spear guy right here, we're going to worry about that guy. That guy, he's going to, like, wreck me if I'm not careful. Okay, there we go. Do kick and do. So we're gonna be in that area in a minute. What we're gonna do first is come right down here. There's gonna be a guy. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, here he comes. So we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna go ahead and grab the halberd, which is a really great weapon, but we're not gonna use this time around. Get this guy. Get the basement key, which is good. Pull the lever. And now that gate should stay up. So we don't have to do the whole running around all the other places. Um, okay, here we go. So if you look way back there, actually, we have binoculars, we can look back there. So that guy, right in the middle, he's not a boss character, but he's kind of like a mini-boss. That area is... Oh no, we got invaded. Guys, I'm so bad at PvP in this game. We're gonna run. Okay, so this is totally not what I wanted to do. I am really bad at PvP, and we have like 3,000 souls. Ah, shit. Ow. Yeah, I see you, Red Phantom. Let me just deal with these guys, and I'll be with you in a moment. Oh, he's actually being kind of nice. He's actually really, really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and heal. Ah, dick. I mean, he dropped an indictment on purpose, so I'll go ahead and indict him. That was a bummer, though. Oh, that's frustrating. Um, yeah, pretty much. Um, I figured that something like that was going to happen, but I thought that maybe he was just being kind of nice. Surprise, surprise. Nope, that was another player. Another player just came into my world and killed me. And that dragon is back, and he is upset. Ah. Eh. Okay, we're good. We're just gonna get our souls back, and we'll be fine. And we will not get poisoned by rats, because getting poisoned by rats sucks. Yeah, pretty much. I just... I thought that he wanted to like actually duel. Turns out that he didn't. Which is what I kind of thought was going to happen, but I also kind of hoped wouldn't. If we had actually dueled, at the very least, I probably could have made him miss. Alright, so let's... Oh, hello. Hold on one second, guys. So I have to share the story with you guys. So I don't know if you heard the doorbell go off, but there's a pizza place in town that we order from all the time, and the delivery guy just came straight to our house because we usually order cookies with with our dinner. So he just came straight to our house, even though it was a different house on the street that ordered their dinner with cookies. That was wicked funny. Oh my god. Well, at least we got our souls back. So that's cool. Alright, so we're gonna go down here, and we're gonna activate another bonfire, and we're gonna spend these souls because I don't want to lose them. And hopefully, we should be able to swing around that Black Knight sword. I am probably going to have to remove a whole bunch of other gear in order to do so successfully. But it'll be fine. And totally worth it. Alright, so we need dexterity at 18. That was kind of what it was like, actually. It was really funny. It straight up just made my night. I mean, obviously, like, besides you guys hanging out here with me, that's also really cool. The delivery guy is awesome. It's almost always the same delivery guy, too. And he, like, gives us tips about, like, oh, yeah, like, if you order cookies, like, it's gonna take a little bit extra because they take a little bit longer to cook. Oh, man. That's so funny. Okay. This is Andre. He is like your primary blacksmith, right? So let's take a look. I just don't have. I don't have the souls to reinforce it, which stinks. But that's okay because I think we can use it now. Yeah, we just got a 2-hand. Let's see if we fat roll. Oh man, we're still mid-rolling and using a shield? That's gonna be good. We're not gonna go down there because death is that way. And I don't want to die. But we're gonna use this sweet-ass great sword right here. It's gonna be wonderful. So the thing that's extra cool about this great sword, besides the fact that it looks super gnarly, is that it actually does extra damage to demons. And the next, not the next boss, but the boss after that is like the biggest pain in the ass, qualifies as a demon. So if we, not this stream maybe, but in the next one, if we can land a plunging attack on that guy, he'll take a whole lot of damage from this weapon. And another handy hint is that when you're at the bonfire, the enemies respawn, so they're always just kind of there. Marsh, like I keep saying, you're a funny guy. I can just hear Cascada in my head right now. Like I said, there's that like mini boss guy right there. He's a big jerk. And if we look, we can get a peek before he aggroes. There's a guy up there too, who shoots magic at you. And we're just gonna let this guy follow us out here. Come on, guy. Okay. To be fair, I'm playing this one really careful. Yeah. Ah! No. Yeah. Ow. Doink. Done. regular Titanite shard, which I am more than happy with. And okay, so we're gonna heal up. Bam. We're gonna run up here. Grab the Firekeeper Soul, roll, and not get magic damage at all, which is really kind of cool. Yeah, there's the guy right there. See that guy? Can't see that guy. Yeah. That guy right there. That guy right there will shoot spells at you all day. And he'll do like a little dance with his trident. Oh, that's cool. But he'll do a little dance with his trident, and he'll buff all of the hollows that are in that room. And they'll do a whole lot of damage, and it'll be bad. So we're going to go ahead and go down this elevator right here. We're going to get rid of those. And I can tell you right now that I was really shy before I went to high school, and then I started taking karate classes, and I felt less shy because I was more confident. So I don't know if that is something like that as an option for you. I don't know if there's some sort of like a venue for you to do something that will help you to build your confidence, but it made a huge difference for me and in my life. So. But you'll see, like this is exactly where we started the game, right? Besides the asylum, right? So here we are, back at our hub world here. We're gonna rest here because that bonfire is already kindled, and because we can literally just take an elevator to get back to where we were. There's going to be a couple of things we're going to do before we deal with the next boss. Now the cool thing about the mini-boss type enemies, if you look, he's not back. Right? He doesn't respawn. Marsh, I would send you coffee. Oh, I forgot that guy was there. Yeah. But, did you say you were 12? Coffee's not good for you. Too young for coffee. Yeah, there's the dance right there. We're gonna be in trouble now. And now all those little guys are buffed, and they're gonna come and try to smack the ever-loving out of me. That's gonna be bad. But if you remember movie 300, get them into a narrow corridor where their numbers count for next to nothing. Alright. That was the hardest part of that encounter right there. And now that guy's dead. Yay! He doesn't respawn either, so we're good there. Barrel. Carry a piece of the barrel around. Alright, so this is basically like pre-boss stuff real quick that we're gonna do. because we're going to want to be back into human form for this boss, so that we can summon Solaire and get our first sunlight medal. Solaire is the man. Now you see this like jacked up door over here? Just kick that shit down. And this guy, he's clearly the nicest man in the world if he's been locked up here.
Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse. Thank you. I am knight. I truly appreciate it. Yes, very soon. I've just been freed.
I went to the same high school that my older sister did, and my older sister was kind of a troublemaker in high school. So I kind of had a reputation when I first went too. So I understand how you feel about that, and I guess the only thing that I want to say is, don't really worry about that. Just you go to school, you do your thing, right, and you make sure that people know who you are. Because of who you are, not because of who your brother is. It'll be fine. It'll all work out just fine. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get human real quick with it. I mean, you can call 991 all you want. Did you just assume my species? So we're gonna go back up, take the elevator. We could probably upgrade this weapon right now if we wanted to. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's upgrade. We're just gonna run past all the enemies because they don't follow you all the way down, and we will take care of them on the way back through. Or maybe we'll just take care of this one guy. Yeah. I graduated high school a while before you did, Kenny, so I can understand. I don't think high school is so different now than it was back when I graduated. It's crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna reinforce our Black Knight sword +1, and that's all we can do because we don't have enough souls. We're gonna two-hand again, and we're gonna do a whole lot more damage. That's gonna be great. That way is Sen's Fortress, and we can't open that yet. There are 2 bells that you have to ring. We're going to ring the first one in just a couple of minutes here. And once both of the bells have been rung, then there's a giant who pulls on the chain, and then he opens the door, and it's great. You hear one of those bells being rung right now. Cool fact about that That is somebody in their game successfully ringing the first bell. That's what that is. Yeah. Whole bunch of summon signs. I'm not going to bother with any of those because I don't feel like dealing with any of that. And you can tell that you're being invaded when this happens. So I can't go back to Firelink Shrine because someone's going to invade me. Which is a big part of the reason as to why I go through the game. I was hoping to get to the boss fog before I got invaded. Is he... Yeah, I'm gonna die. Oh, come on. Really? Yeah, we'll go ahead and indict that guy too. Jerk. Yeah, as soon as I saw the crossbow come out, I was like, ah, damn it. And I saw the dragon head and the dragon armor too. And what a lot of people do is they'll start the game and they'll rush straight to the dragon covenant, and then they'll grab a whole bunch of like the dragon scales and stuff and get, and they'll get a whole bunch of different items like the dragon head stone and the dragon torso stone, and then that makes them do a whole bunch of extra damage and gives them buffs and stuff, and then they just stay at low level. But like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you can play through the game at lower level, fine, you go ahead and do it. The issue that I have is when they just stay at low level and just outskill people, and that was cheap. You know, he didn't actually fight me. He realized that I did half of his health in one shot, and then he decided that he was going to stagger me and then shoot me. He cheated. We're gonna grab our souls. Ow. I should need all my healing items for the boss, so it should be fine. We're gonna run past all these guys, because I don't want to deal with that, and there are more of them. You're having a big old party. Alright. That's all sorted out. Go all the way up. And we're gonna summon Solaire. The Solaire is the best. heal up again. And we're gonna go on through here. Alright. So, if we look, right, we can't go back through. The fog is still there, which means that this is a boss area. So I'm not going to skip this cinematic because this one's actually kind of cool. But hey, can you guess what we're going to fight? This guy is not a dragon, but if we cut off his tail, which we were not able to do, I don't like being on fire. Bam. And there we go. Victory! And holy crap, I forgot that they gave that many souls. Do. We're gonna keep on going up. Pull the lever! We can blame PewDiePie. He makes enough money for people to blame him for anything. Alright, there we go. There's a trophy right there. Ring the bell, Undead Church. And we go down the ladder. And we go down another ladder.
Greeting.
And
Cometh up.
we learn the gesture of champions. What did he have again? Yeah, he has nothing that I want to buy, so I'm not going to buy any of those. And now, so something that's kind of cool is that since we beat the area boss, we can't be invaded here anymore. Which is a cool thing and a cool thing and a not cool thing, right? Because on the one hand, I suck at PvP, so I don't like getting invaded because people just kill me and then I have to run back, and it's not fun. But we could help people with bosses at this point if we wanted to. I'm not going to do that because I don't feel like it. Apparently, I can still get Gravelorded here, though. If I saw correctly. Yeah, so I can still be affected by the Gravelord, which is not cool. So yeah, we're gonna go upgrade our sword one more time and spend some souls, and then I think I'm probably gonna call the stream there. So just give me a minute here. I think that we could get a gesture from Andre, if I recall correctly.
Well, I'll use it. Need any?
Oh yeah. Actually, we're gonna buy a couple things. We're gonna buy repair box. We're not gonna worry about a smith box just yet. We're gonna reinforce a weapon. I don't know about that. I don't think that Deku not being black had anything to do with him hurting himself or not when he was using his powers. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pop a humanity so that we can so that we can kindle this bonfire real quick. So we'll get up to 10 flat when we rest here, because when we start going to Sen's Fortress, we're gonna need it. We're gonna go ahead and level strength up to 20. And that's all we can do at the moment. So now, we can swing this bad boy one-handed. Yeah, check that shit out. Alright, so I think that's where I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys, thank you Kenny, thank you Marsh for hanging out with me and checking out the stream. I don't have like a set like streaming schedule just yet. And like I said before, that's mostly because I work full time during the week, so I can't like schedule this. But I will. I'll see if I can start streaming before 8 o'clock at night on occasion, so that if you decide to check it out, Marsh, it's not 3 in the morning where you are. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. Thanks for checking it out, and I will see you guys in the next one.